headlines of VTV News. Prime Minister inspects 500 kilovolt transmission line project. And TIEN becomes Vietnam's first national park on IUCN Green List.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News, broadcast live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on Sunday inspected the 500 kilovolt Circuit 3 Quảng Trạch Phố Nối power transmission line section crossing Nghệ An province. He also encouraged workers at construction sites and met with relevant ministries, branches and units.
Inspecting the construction site at Quỳnh Trang Commune, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính praised the efforts to successfully transport nearly 200 tons of steel over rugged mountainous terrain to erect an 88-meter-high electricity tower. The Prime Minister requested an acceleration of the construction while ensuring quality, aesthetics, safety, and environmental protection. He requested that local organizations, including the Youth Union, continue to support the project and participate in many other major projects in the locality and the country.
It is an honor to work on such an important project. You are prime examples of Vietnamese young people who aren't afraid of hardship and can overcome it.
On behalf of the government, the Prime Minister hailed the progress of the 500 kilovolt Circuit 3 project, commending the proactive spirit and the highest determination behind the project, which has strongly indicated the strength of the Vietnamese people. In particular, the localities have also been determined to mobilize the combined strength of the entire political system to participate.
The local party committees, local authorities, social-political organizations, and the public have combined their strengths to accelerate the project. This project also demonstrates the Vietnamese people's steel will. Nothing is impossible when we are determined to work together to overcome challenges. This will also open up many opportunities to develop even bigger projects.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính requested units and localities strive to complete construction and testing in June so that the project could be in operation in July.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính issued an official telegram on Sunday to strengthen price management and control. He required ministries, sectors, and localities to monitor market developments closely and ensure a balance between domestic supply and demand. They must also monitor global price trends for strategic commodities and propose responsive measures. The Prime Minister emphasized smooth supply, circulation, and distribution of goods and services, and improving inspection and supervision of price declaration and listing to address violations. Ministries, sectors, and localities must continue adjusting public service prices and state-managed goods according to market principles, assess inflationary impacts, and prepare appropriate price adjustment roadmaps. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính will attend the annual meeting of the new champions at the 15th World Economic Forum, WEF, which will be held in Dalian, China, from June the 24th to the 27th. According to the WEF, amid global economic fragmentation, supply chain disruptions, and geopolitical tensions, Vietnam is one of the bright spots in the region and globally, contributing to the WEF in establishing trust, cooperation, building initiatives, and international progress.
With achievements in economic development and substantial and effective contributions to bilateral and multilateral cooperation, Vietnam is one of the few countries that has organized national strategic dialogues with the WEF and its members at important events.
Now, it's not only a star in East Asia, but really on a global level, if we look at at also growth rates which are exceeding.
At the WEF annual meeting of the new champions, the Prime Minister will discuss and propose solutions to promote the potential and strengths of the Asia-Pacific region. Demonstrating Vietnam's responsible contribution, he will also emphasize the role of the private sector and public-private partnership in promoting new growth drivers.
After 35 years of establishing relations, cooperation between Vietnam and the WEF has developed in many fields. It has been concretized through a Memorandum of Understanding, with a focus on 6 key areas: innovation in agriculture, green transformation, net zero goals, reducing waste and plastic, transition to renewable energy, digital transformation, and the establishment of the 4th Industrial Revolution Center.
For a country like Vietnam, that is very high on the radar for a lot of the international business leaders who are seeking stable but also very dynamic growth investment opportunities.
The 15th WEF annual meeting of the new champions takes place in the context of many difficulties in the world economy: slow growth recovery and headwinds against globalization. Vietnam's participation in the meeting for the 2nd consecutive year demonstrates the WEF and the international business community's respect for Vietnam's position and its contribution to multilateralism and international solidarity through a global, all-people approach.
The progress of the Kang An Expressway's construction has resumed momentum in the past month after a holdup due to a shortage of sand. Approximately 4,500 cubic meters of sand are being used daily for leveling and roadbed loading. The contractor has mobilized 150 workers, machinery, and equipment to accelerate construction and has promptly stabilized weak ground areas to meet the project specifications. Phase 1 of the Kang An Expressway commenced construction on June 25, 2023 and is slated for completion within 2 years. Spanning a total of over 27 kilometers, the expressway has already seen nearly 25% of its construction completed. You're watching VTV News. The 5th inspection by the European Commission (EC) into Vietnam's compliance with illegal, unreported, and unregulated or IUU fishing regulations will occur in September or October. In the past 6 years, many drastic measures have been implemented to remove the EC's yellow card. In particular, leaders of relevant agencies will have to take responsibility for any IUU activity occurring on their watch.
There are 75 fishing vessels of 50 meters or more in Vĩnh Phúc Port, Nha Trang City. The local authorities have information on all these boats' crews and activities. 2 Vĩnh Phúc Port People's Committee officials were assigned to monitor and prevent IUU fishing in the area.
Since being assigned, I have become more aware of the importance of preventing IUU fishing. My co-workers and I have been working closely with the fishing fleet to prevent IUU fishing.
The heads of authorities' responsibilities have filtered throughout the political system, strengthening the prevention of IUU. In addition, the fishermen's unions plays an important role in raising awareness.
The new regulations confused us fishermen, but it's all good now. We all comply with the regulations.
Fishing crews in Khánh Hòa have got into the habit of submitting reports on their fishing trips. To handle the large number of documents, each official at unreported is in charge of a specific number of fishing vessels.
The IU team at our fishing port is 15 strong. The management board has assigned tasks to each person, and they are responsible for their performance.
The entire political system is united in combating IUU fishing. Each head of the locality and relevant agencies must take absolute responsibility to end IUU fishing for good.
Recently, Kang Province has strictly pursued all IUU fishing violations, such as disconnecting the monitoring device and fishing outside the permitted boundaries. Kang Province has also clarified the responsibilities of local leaders and functional agencies when a violation occurs.
Vietnam's Cái Mép Port cluster ranks 7th among the world's most efficient container ports according to the Container Port Performance Index 2023 by the World Bank and S&P Global Market Intelligence. Not only can it accommodate the world's largest ships, but the Cái Mép Port cluster also benefits from quick procedures due to accelerated digitalization. The CPPI report evaluates port efficiency based on ship berthing and cargo handling times, productivity rates, cargo volume per call, and ship navigation duration at 405 ports. The Ministry of Transport and the People's Committee of the Central Highlands Province of Lâm Đồng on Sunday announced Liên Khương Airport International Designation, the first of its kind in the Central Highlands. The airport's runway, which is 3,250 meters long and 45 meters wide, meet criteria to permit international flights. Direct international flights will boost tourism and the transportation of agricultural products. After nearly 10 years of voluntarily pursuing 17 criteria with 50 indicators, Cat Tien National Park has officially been recognized by International Union for Conservation of Nature IUCN as a green list protected area, marking it the 72nd location to achieve this distinction.
Cat Tien National Park is a typical tropical forest ecosystem in the southeast region. It is home to the only population of wild Siamese crocodiles and the largest herd of gaur in Vietnam. The park has earned recognition for its planning, management, and effective implementation.
Five-year project, and one of the implementing partners is World Wildlife Fund, and they're here today. And so they have set up cameras inside some of the national parks, including here at Cat Tien, which they attracts wildlife to be able to see what kind of biodiversity is here. And that's really important for things like the green list because you're able to show you have evidence.
In nearly 10 years of pursuing green list criteria, Cat Tien National Park has evaluated conservation measures, including protecting endangered species and ecosystems. The park's biodiversity monitoring, habitat restoration, and species conservation projects promote habitat restoration, nature protection, and economic development.
We consider this a tool for internal monitoring and evaluation within the park, encompassing all biodiversity activities from now into the future.
What is required is a process sort of continuous improvement. Some of that can be handled entirely by the existing staff, the government. Other areas of improvement will require additional assistance, particularly international assistance, some financial assistance, technical assistance. And the park, I think, is well positioned to attract that assistance.
Vietnam, along with China and South Korea, was one of the first countries in Asia to join the Green List. This title marked a turning point for nature and biodiversity conservation in Vietnam.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4go. Goodbye for now.